Now let's see where we are. Okay, I am live. Hello, I didn't realise I had a viewer, so apologies, I've been silent for the last while. Not sure who it is, because I really don't know anything about YouTube, or not YouTube, but Twitch, so welcome aboard, whoever you are. I'm just trying to start my decoration of the interiors of the house, so at the moment I'm a little bit stymied because I have a center point in the room, which is here. Hello, Bricks. How's it going? Welcome aboard. Bricks, you may not have seen yesterday. I'm not entirely sure. So I shall just give you a quick tour of the town, if you like. Let me know, and if you drop me a comment, I will do a quick tour of the town. But at the moment, my focus is on decorating the interior of this building here, this townhouse. Hello, Susie, how's it going? Scout. Okay, so Brick, so myself and Scout are doing this project together. It's a town that we haven't fully named yet, but I've had an idea about it last night, which I entirely forgot about until right now. It started out with just myself, and then Scout joined me. And it really kind of started out, it wasn't meant to be a town, it was only meant to be, it was me just playing around with 1.16, and I built this house here, just again messing around with the new blocks, and then I decided to try and build something from the Witcher 3, and that was this building here, and then I built a little road between them, and then I built this house, and all of a sudden then I was building a town, and then by hook and by crook, it just became a project of our own. No, this is a private server myself and Scout have together. And so yeah, so this is the main street. Well, sorry, no, I tell a lie. This is just one of the streets. A couple of buildings on it. This one here is a tavern. A couple of different private residences, and Scout has built a bakery down here. So yeah, so it's very much in the working. It's a work in progress. And at the moment I will show you. So again, they're just little side streets really. A little drapery or a tailor's. And this is the area I've been working on here, bricks. Scout will already know this. It's the main town square, and all the buildings are fully furnished. Well, sorry, all the buildings I've done are fully furnished. There's one or two that aren't, but they will be. Scout built this magnificent tree. Scout is in charge of organics, and yeah, so we've just been slowly building on to it, and I want to get this square finished before I move on to the rest of my own little projects on it. Scout has been building the riverside, which is going to be a slightly poorer area, and it's down here. So it's going to be a docks and a small little port for people to disembark from the river and that sort of thing. This here is meant to be a kind of a customs building that commercial ships and commercial boats will stop, and they will pay customs on whatever their cargo is. And Scout, as you can see, has done an absolutely gorgeous job on decorating and building this entire area. Lovely little blacksmiths here and small stables. Again, a completely different vibe than the area I'm going for, and that's very deliberate. We're working on the fact that my area will be kind of, being it's the main town square, it'll be wealthier, and this will be a bit more run down, a bit more lower class, for want of a better term. Now, I did show around it a bit yesterday, but as you can see, Scout is also decorating all the interiors and that sort of thing. Bricks, the only other mod we're using outside Conquest 1.16 is a mod called Victory Mod. Victory Mod is a really fantastic, nifty little mod that sits hand in hand with Conquest Reforged and adds a ton more decorative blocks. I don't know if you're aware of that, but it's really worth checking out. So that's where we're at. As I said, for the moment I'm only going to be on till 2 o'clock my time, so that's another half hour. I have a ton of jobs to do myself personally, so this was only really a quick test stream. Really, I'm brand new to this brick, so that's why I said I'd try and get some practice in. So yeah, so yesterday, bricks, I did the interior walls of the house, and kind of laid out what the rooms are going to be. So we have a kitchen here. It's a very, very, very big house. It's going to take me forever to try and decorate the entire thing, but yeah, no, Victory Mod, it's fantastic, bricks, I agree. He makes me do interiors. Yes, I do, Scout. We need to do interiors. There's no point in just doing the exteriors. What would be the point in that? It would be pointless. We're going to decorate everything inside and out, and that's the way we'll do it. Oh, Scout, I built a door here, by the way. I figured that, seeing as I was doing the kind of cellar area, and the cellar area is actually at a lower level than the ground floor on the square, it made sense to have a little kind of a door out onto the yard here, and I added another little window there, so that's done. And yeah, no, I have no idea what to do here, so any idea is welcome. I don't know what this room is going to be. I thought of maybe a secondary kitchen or something. I honestly don't know. This is going to be, as you can see, a wine cellar. Storage there. All the way up. This is just for Blix's benefit. We're just going to have, bedrooms and, living room. Your bog standard rooms, really, a nursery. So, yeah, so I'm going to just start by trying to decorate room by room. So, here we go. I've made the cardinal sin of making an uneven room. So, if I put the light there, it's going to be off, and if I put the light there, it's going to be off. So I've decided I'm not going to do a hanging light because that would just drive me nuts. I'll do maybe a light here and maybe a light at this corner, and we shall figure it out from there. And now on to the fireplace. The door, which door works well, Scout? Sorry, I'm not entirely sure. I've never done interiors for about 3 or 4 months. That's disgraceful. How dare you? That's just... We are no longer friends. I don't entirely know how I'm going to manage this fireplace either. As Scout will tell you, I'm utterly, horrifically bad at doing fireplaces. I'm not my forte at all. I don't really have any real skill at fireplace among many other things, but we'll see how we go. Again, Scout, just what door? I'm kind of a little bit confused as to... Oh, sorry, the door... Oh, of course, the door to basement. Sorry, I'm as thick as anything today. Yeah, now I understand. Yeah, the door at the basement, of course. The cellar. That's the one. You're not bad at fireplace. Thank you very much, Scout. I disagree fully. I just don't ever like doing fireplaces. It takes me forever to even try and attempt one. So, look, it is what it is. We will persevere. You see, to do that, it looks stupid because you've got too little room then. So the only thing is to do either a... I wonder with the carved limestone. Oh, it does. It has a yoke magic variety. That might be handy, actually. That might work. What do you think, folks? That could well have some application there. If we could find a decent pillar block for it as well. That's not too bad. Roughly. Now the only trouble is I could even go one in with this. Maybe. And I could well, I can't do that there, but I could. What do you think? Should I have the fireplace here, inside, or more out? Place 2 vertical slab. I actually did. Yes, I did consider that, Bricks. So I did, and I might well do that. But at the moment, I'm wondering, is this a way to go? And I could have... I can manage that there. That might be a slightly better way. No, can't do that. Okay. Well, that scuppers that idea. So it does. Yeah, I agree. Bricks out is the only way to go. Unfortunately, I didn't consider the exterior wall and the shape of the actual house itself. So we'll just do it the way we were doing it in the first place. And where was I? So, Bricks, how have you been? Have you been playing much 1.15 yet, or have you bothered, or what have you been up to altogether? We haven't seen you in a while. Hoping you're keeping well. Do we want to do an interior? I do. I want to do an interior to this properly. So what we'll do is we'll do some old grey wackle cobble. That might work. And we want a stair block for that. We could put that there and put that there and put that there. Like, no, that won't go there. And have it so that this is here. So basically I'm just trying to do the interior to make it slightly different than the exterior. You're working single player mostly. Yeah, it's going to be a long time before, unfortunately, we see things move to 1.16 at a server level. SpongeForge is taking forever. Now there is a beta version out for SpongeForge for modded Minecraft, I believe. But the trouble with that is that, number one, it's only a beta version, so it's not reliable. And for a big server like Darwin, we really need it to be 100%. And not only that, then we also need plot squared, which is the mod that we use for actual plots. We need that to be at 1.16 as well, which again it's not. It's just it's very, very unfortunate. But look, it is what it is. Like it's Diggy's hands are tied. Really, he can't do much until all the mods for the server level stuff are ready, and just at the moment they're not. And it's, as I said, it's just terribly unfortunate, but it is what it is. Your GPU broke. Oh God, love you. Oh yeah, no, that's my biggest terror. I'm running this Bricks on a bit of a 6-year-old laptop now, and it's really getting to be golden aged. So I'd rather like, it's one of my nightmares is the idea of this laptop breaking. It would be a disaster for me. It really would. But hopefully that won't be the case. Hopefully I have a fairly hefty. It sits on one of these fan bases that pushes air up into it all the time. So hopefully it's keeping it cool. I'm just going to give this a bit of a fire guard. Break that block and put that there, and then we're going to just go into spectator mode to get out. And finally put that there. Does that look okay? It's very basic, I know, but we could do a mantle, I suppose. Where's the block I was using for the carved limestone? That probably has a quarter block. Yeah, no, the 1.16 is just magnificent for all sorts of reasons. Does that mantle work? I'm not entirely sure that it does. I think it looks worse than maybe a lintel block. And if you are bored senseless watching me here, I don't blame you. That's a little bit more subtle. Again, I'm not sure. We need to go for. I would love that, but I would never accept anyone else's. Much as I would love it, I'll hold out for my retirement in 17 years, or I will hopefully win the Euro Millions or something along those lines, because I couldn't ever accept anyone else's cash. It just wouldn't be fair, and everybody has far more important things to spend money on. Much as everyone would love a new PC and a better PC, but I could never in good conscience accept money for people, because I genuinely believe that I'm incredibly lucky to even have this, and um, I think that, to be perfectly frank, there needs to be like more money given to people who are genuinely in need. So I tend to try and give stuff to charity and that sort of thing where I can, and I'm involved in a few kind of charitable organisations. Um, I just I would absolutely, it's my dream to own a PC that I can play this on with shaders on, with SUS PGTI or something, and it would look absolutely magnificent. It really would. It's a genuine dream, but I think until I couldn't even if I had the money myself, I'd probably wouldn't be able to bring myself to spend it on it. I'd want to spend it on my house or spend it on my kids or something along those lines. I don't think I could ever, unfortunately, buy one for myself. I think that it's far more important. There are far more important things than me to spend the money on. And as I said, I'm in a very lucky position to have this laptop anyway. But as I said, I genuinely think that that's something I feel very strongly about. Clearly, that there's far more important things than me to spend money on. So if you ever do have money, please do give it to a good cause. Give it to some people who really deserve it and need it. That would make me very happy. Now, I think a little bookshelf in this corner. I know that's something I keep on falling into the trap of. I keep on building bookshelves in little odd corners, but feck it works, so we'll give it a try. We've got about 20 minutes left, and I have to go out and cut my gardens. It doesn't rain, and it doesn't look like it's going to. Bricks, you Scout is kind of semi-aware of where I live, and I live on about between half and 2/3 of an acre, and about, I suppose, a third of that. I have gardens that stretch out to about a third of an acre. So, and I've only got a little petrol push mower, so it takes about 7 or 8 hours to cut all the grass. So I need to start that if I don't want to be at it tomorrow as well. It'll probably take me till around 8 o'clock tonight, but I actually enjoy it. I like doing the grass, but there's no denying it does take a while. And as I said, I need to take responsibility for that. Now we're going to put a little set of shelves in, and one of the things I keep on, again, it's just something I've gotten used to within 1.15 or 1.16 even, is just using these little vertical slabs as opposed to the old slab size. I'm just doing a little more subtle one, maybe 2 deep, and then I put in a different glass block or something as a front, a glass front, like a cabinet front or something along those lines. And then as a top, and again, this is something I am guilty of, and I'm going to have to come up with some other methods of fixing it. You see, I could put it like that, but to be perfectly frank, I think that, well, it looks alright. In fact, it looks more than alright. It looks fairly good. But I keep on using something like the dark architrave, the dark tan sandstone architrave, just as a top, because it brings it out a little. Now in this case, it doesn't look quite as well, because what I would have been doing is I would have been sometimes having the beam, let's say, there, and then I would use the one vertical slab to bring it out to there, or something along those lines. So yeah, no, I think in this case I'm actually going to be different, and I'm going to leave it like that. It does. No, there's no doubt. It adds a vast amount, and it improves the game in almost every way, and that's just my own personal opinion. I know that there are things that I do miss from 1.12. I miss some of the blocks that they, for some bizarre reason, have removed. Like, for example, in the food blocks, we have some lovely new flagons. Like we've got this flagon here, and we've got this flagon here. So we've got a nice flagon there, and a nice flagon there, and they have multiple block states as well. So so you've got the two different tankards there, and you've got different ways you can face them and that sort of thing. But they don't have the old little pour cup, and I think that has a place too. You know, it was small, it was subtle, and it worked very well, and that's gone now, so it's a pity. And they've obviously removed the grindstone as well, and the old bellows. But you know, the amount we've got in replacement for that, I think, more than makes up for it. So it does. So yeah, so there we have that. Right, so I could do some hanging lights, but we'll see how we go. Either way, we need to do some form of furniture, and I will try and use. So the old leather stool is by far and away my favorite piece of furniture in terms of the sofas. I just love it. I think it's fantastic. Yes, they did remove the hot coast block, and I only discovered this recently. They renamed it, and I looked for it. I thought it was gone as well, but no, it's just been renamed, and so it's good. It's good to know that as well. So hopefully that's some use to your bricks. Now, right. So I'm not going to use my favorite one because, as I said, I'm forever using it. We'll go with something else. I could use a blue cushion stool. And how do we want this? Typically I do something along those lines, but that doesn't look great. So it doesn't. I could have a seat there, and that's not too bad. And we can jazz that up somehow. And it's not in the way either. Oh, and let's get a little bit of victory mod in here, I think, as well. One of the things that I love with victory mod is where do we have it? The fireplace tools. Now, prior to this, I always used the tool block version. So for fireplace tools, and I did do them, and I can show you. I used to either use the sights, which is somewhere around here, sickles and harvest, or I would use the Savage. Hello, welcome aboard. I would use that, or I would use wherever it is. I can't find it now. Yes. So prior to that, to do kind of fireplace tools like poker and brush, I would do something like this, and that's not too bad. I think it works, but the victory mod actually has a specific set for it, and I think it's ideal. So we'll use that one there. As I said, I think I have no problem using victory mod. I think Filthy Coin has added a vast amount of really useful blocks, and now I personally think that they should be incorporated into Conquest Reforged, but I know Filthy himself doesn't want that to happen, and I think the mods in the CR themselves aren't keen on that happening either. So they do both want them to be kept separate, and we kind of have to respect that. So let's just... Okay, that's new. I haven't seen that happen before with my wood. So make a little fireplace, make a thing. We could also, if we were to... Let's try rails. And we want, let me see, maybe the fancy rail for kind of a... This is obviously a more savage... I'm just still decorating this house here. This is... and unfortunately I can't be with you much longer. Just by hook and by crook I have actual real adult work to unfortunately manage. How does that look? Is that alright in terms of a kind of a sofa? I think it'll do, I suppose. Add a bit of life to it as well. So what we'll do is we'll add a few books or something. Where are my books? There we go. There. Something like that. And then here we will have a... We need more lights. I'm conscious of the fact that we don't have many light sources, but we'll get to that. Let me see where we are. And forgive me again for my meandering stream of consciousness. I am new to streaming, and this, believe it or not, is how I am normally. I'm someone who just spouts out random nonsense all the time, and my wife and my family are used to it, but I don't think anyone else is. So I suppose you better get used to it if you intend to watch me. It's a terrible thing to have to suffer through, but unfortunately that's just how I am. Let me see, we need a nice table here. And I'm loath to use one of these. I don't want a round table in this corner. I don't think it works too well. We need something to bring out the space a bit more. So a square table is where it's at in this particular regard. And the desk is just a little bit... It doesn't work, so I'm thinking maybe something along those lines, and then we can have a decoration of some sort on top of it, maybe. Oh, that's something else that they've done in 1.16 and 1.13, and I don't understand it really at all. So the astrolobes, they used to have a 3D model, as far as I remember, in 1.12, and now they've got a 2D model, and it just seems to be a little bit regressive. I don't know why, because if you come in here now, that doesn't look quite as well as it used to. Whereas the globe is still a 3D model, and that works perfectly well, just visually. So it's just I can't understand why. I'm sure there was rationale to doing it, but I honestly can't understand what that rationale was. To me, it just, as I said, it seems slightly aggressive to have a perfectly good model and then to change it to a 2D model. Now, I don't mind that so much, but it's slightly high. I want to be able to look out at the square. So maybe just a board game is what we ought to do. And storage, decor. It's in the decor, I believe. Is it not? It is, yes, absolutely. So we'll have a chessboard, which again is far too commonly used. No. That doesn't look right either, because I don't personally like... I'm very peculiar, and if you ever look at Druss or almost any of my builds, I tend to... For me, I just find the line of that and the line of that to be too blockish and almost not quite vanilla, but I would typically have use a desk version or something to put that on, just to give a little bit more of a 3D feel. So I don't think that's good. Maybe the Gwent board will be a little more. And I don't like that either, because it hangs off the table and goes through the window. So that can't be happening. So we shall have to compromise, and I think the compromise is going to be the globe. I think that's about the best that we can hope for there. Now let me see. For this corner, we could put in... I think it makes sense to put in... Maybe make that a table instead. It looks quite out of place. Yeah, I suppose a table might work. If it is a table, I want it to be slightly more decorative, so I think that this would be the fella to go for. And again, something that I've been having to do each time is... no, don't want that. Why have... I'm after waterlogging the bloody thing. Okay, so south true, north true, no, north. Okay, so we've got that bit working, and now we just need to get north to false. There we go. So yes, I agree. Bricks, I think that works quite well. It has the, yeah, it comes out nicely, so it takes up the space a little bit more visually. Yeah, I think that works. Thank you very much. I appreciate that suggestion. So I think moving in here, I think it's likely that there will be some just a coat hanger for. I like that. That works because it just gives the impression that people will just be hanging them as they come in the front door. And we could have a vase underneath that just to give it a little bit more decoration. And no, I don't think that would be there. We'll figure something out. Debug. Oh, believe me, the amount of times I've come close to putting my fist through my monitor because I keep on making the same mistake with the debug stick. It's a fantastic tool, but it can be pernickety. And it's when you're double clicking quite quickly and you just keep on hitting the wrong thing. It drives you mad. Well, it drives me mad, or more mad, I ought to say. Now I could use something like that there. You see, I do like using the telescopes, but they don't quite fit on the actual the clothes hanger. So I tend to fall back to using things that do, which is why I typically. You know, something we could almost use that. That'll add a bit more color as well. Even though no, I can't. It's just I only ever use these now where if there's a wall around them or something, so you can only see them from one angle really. Again, that's my own personal little foible that I'm too pernickety, and I tend to be very much I don't know, I'm curmudgeonly in my old age. The other option is, let's see, do we have any victory mod things that we could possibly use? Ted appears everywhere in this town in the most unexpected places. I think that I'll leave it off in this time. And I will figure something out for that later. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I'll get sidetracked very easily. As you can see, I get sidetracked incredibly easily, and I do apologise. Right, so let's steam through this. I'd like to get this room finished before I finish the stream, just to show that I am capable of achieving something once in a blue moon. I like this little. This is one of my favourite victory mod blocks, and I don't use it enough. But I think it's just a great little decorative tool, a lovely little decoration. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have a table across there, and we're going to be able to use the table for decoration, furniture, and we shall use the fancy oak desk, the fancy wooden desk even. And that will go there, and then I can put a chair, shall we say, here, and we need a light for there for sure, and on the table, and we can have a separate vase with a flower or something in it on the other side. Perhaps this one. I don't want it to be too big. Now the trouble with the shorter ones that don't quite hit the block is that sometimes the flowers don't look quite as well in them. Do the pumpkins still protrude? I don't know. Let's find out. No, they do not. Apparently. Bricks, to answer your question. I'm going to have a flower here of some sort. I want it to be colourful. Well, no, I think that works. That's nice. And let's get a few decorative blocks for the table. Bum bum bum. Let me see. I think we could almost have. You see, we could almost have this as a hanging feature. And again, this is something that I think I'm probably guilty of using too much. The clock is just gorgeous, but I really ought to be designing a grandfather clock or something for here, as opposed to just, you know, cheaping out and using the stuff that's already available to me. Storage. Now, do you know something? We're going to have our friend there, and we shall have some toolbox. How about, where is our, yeah, this fella here. That can go there, as if somebody is writing a letter or a notebook or something. And finally we need something for the center, and I think this is where we put the wooden telescope. It's alright, and yeah, no, we can't unfortunately do I was tempted to do a carpet of some nature, but unfortunately it would look rubbish because we've a cellar right below that, so we're not going to do that just for this particular one. I've done it for a lot of other ones, folks, if you haven't seen it. The carpet design with the pumpkins on the corner was cool while it lasted. Oh yeah, I'd forgotten about that. So yeah, so in a lot of places I have used carpet blocks, but I suppose I shouldn't really overuse them either. So let's do that there. I'm going to put something, you know, tool block of some sort there, pistols or something, because it is the 1600s, so technically they would have had pistols or small firearms. Bricks, this world here, this is the world is called Tir na Druss. Tir means country in Irish, and na Druss is obviously just the country of Druss. I don't mind changing the name because the Scout is involved as well, but Scout has insisted the name Tir na Druss remain, so I suppose that's that. The entire world and the vision for the world is that it's going to be a fantasy world, so we're going to bring elements that we have from Darwin over, so there'll be, you know, wizards towers and orc camps and elven cities and all that sort of thing, and also loads of little villages and lots of nature and everything joined together. And that's always been, I've always wanted to build something that rivals Vizima or rivals Ardecraft in terms of vision. I'm just wondering, that there, how does that look, folks? Is that better, having the little single slab out, or would it be better where it was? It just gives a bit of depth there, but then it suffers in terms of the arch being in a bit. It's receded. No, do you know, I'm going to... Oh, why do I always do this? Right, so let's try this. if I put those out, I won't be able to have the lintel block there. No, I don't think so. I think that doesn't look as well, personally. It's probably better with the lintel block, and just like that. Astra, my darling, how are you doing? Hope you're keeping well. And I'm just going to throw that there and that there. Astra, just for your benefit, I know last night you said you didn't get to see around the world. I'm already after running over the time I intended to spend here, but you know, you're an old friend, so I definitely am going to show you around. Bricks has already seen this, so this is the world myself and Scout are doing. As I've already explained, it started out, it wasn't meant to be a project at all, it was just meant to be me playing around with 1.16 bricks, but then it snowballed into something else, so it's become a town. And Scout, if you're still with me, we have to do this. This is something we've completely neglected, but needs to be finished, is the sewers. It's a job no one wants to do, but I suppose we'll have to manage it at some point. So, yeah, so we've done about half the buildings each, Astra. So that bakery there is Scout's. This building here is one of Scout's. This is one of mine, and this is one of mine, and you know, so we've kind of shared the workload, really. This building here is based on a building called the River House in a town called Kersey in England, and it was a 1400s house. And this building here, and this facade, is probably my favourite building that I've ever done in Minecraft at all. It was the first time I fully utilised, I suppose, some of the 1.16 blocks, and I just, for once, I was actually happy with my own build, and yeah, so that remains my favourite building ever to have done. So you come through here, Astra. Just a couple of townhouses down here as we go down. Oh, Astra, this is for you, if you're still with me. There we are. This is just a little nod to yourself. I hope you don't mind. And you are now a tailor. But you're a very rich tailor with a very, very, very big property. A very big property indeed. Like it's a gigantic house, really. Took me forever to furnish. So yeah, so as you come down here, this was built by another person, not Scout or myself. I haven't got their permission to name them, so I'm going to leave that off. And then you come down to the main square of the town, which is what I am focusing on. It's taken a while to build them, but we're getting there. I've actually, this just came out of my, well, sorry, this was very lightly based on a building in Germany. This just came out of my own head. This just came out of my own head. This one was, this one here and the clock tower are based on Irish medieval buildings, and the rest of them just came out of my own noggin. And as we go down here, you come towards the riverside, and I'm already after showing bricks, but this is entirely Scout's build. Scout has done everything here. So it's a gorgeous, I think Scout had a painting that she based this. Oh, you're very rich, Astor, don't worry, that you're one of the richest people in the town. This building here, it was based on a painting Scout found, and it's a customs house for cargo on the river. And again, Scout has just done this magnificent job in building the entire of the riverside docks area, which is a little bit poorer than the town hall or the town square. So we'll again, she's done a lovely job decorating as well. So we'll eventually, they'll meet. We've got a bit planned out. So orange is roads, red is buildings, purple is meant to be different things like stables and that sort of thing. So the kind of wealth of the area here will kind of slowly, in the space of a few buildings, merge down to here. So and that's not too unrealistic. I know, having been in a lot of cities, the main streets typically have very nice buildings, and you only have to go back one street for the buildings to substantially reduce in terms of their quality and that sort of thing. So I don't think there's anything too unrealistic about the way we're doing things. And certainly, well, we've a long way to go yet before we get to that. I'd estimate that I have another couple of weeks work for my own self in doing these two buildings here. They will take a while. Oh, could you visit? Is there a way you could visit our place here, Bricks? Is it? I imagine there would be. I'll have to discuss that with Scout. Ultimately, I do envision this being a bigger team project, but that would be when we move it on to Darwin. Again, that will be done with Scout's consultation. This is as much Scout's world as it is mine, and it's as much her project as it is mine. So we'll discuss that between ourselves. But certainly, I think that we'll, in order to fully realise the vision, certainly I have for the world itself, where we have, as I said, all sorts of fantasy elements and roads between towns and cities and little taverns along the side of the road and that sort of thing, and it's going to take more than two people, but again, that's something for down the line. Certainly there's a lot of work in just finishing this city itself, and it'll be a while before we get to this to Darwin anyway. So before that, yes, there is a possibility you can come and visit, but I'll need to get Scout's permission before we move on to doing that. I think that little table there looks okay. Now I'm tempted to just put another plant on it, but I think that would look a bit foolish. Is there any other sort of decor we could use? Maybe a light or something. A light would actually be ideal, because we do need something there. So what we shall do is a chandelier, a small chandelier there, and we'll light it up, because that corner there will need a bit of light, and this corner here is going to have its own light source as well. We're going to do something slightly different than we've already done. Yeah, this fella here. Now, sometimes it annoys me that my own personal taste is to use wood paneling on the base of interior rooms, and then you can barely see some of the features like this, but you just have to suffer through it, I suppose. And a pole is what I'm looking for. We do, Astrea, if you would like to build a Mediterranean city and you can promise me that you will stick with it, I would absolutely be more than honoured to have you join us. I would. There are no words to. I would love for you to do part of this world. It would be an absolute privilege to have you build something for us. And that goes for everyone on the stream. I think that you are all, anyone who I have ever met on Darwin has been a far superior builder to myself. That looks terrible, by the way. That's not staying. And as I said, I'd be honoured to have any of your input whatsoever. I think. Oh, that's not too bad. Is it? Not too bad. What do you think, folks? Is that okay? I think, I'm not entirely sure. Will I chicken out? I think I'll probably chicken out on that one. It just looks a little bit flat at the base, though it is not too bad. It's better than I anticipated it being. No, it just looks too off kilter. I don't think that would work. In other words, I am chickening out. Where is a candle width thing? Yeah, okay. And that looks just as bad. Yeah, no, I think that yeah, that doesn't work either. I think that I'm going to. You see, I don't want to use the other option is to use a chandelier, and that does actually look okay. But I'm after using one there, so I shan't use one here. You know, this is something I haven't done before, but you know, why not? It'll do. Um, Now we could also, just to add some interest to the room, um, do a painting. Now, do we have 3x1 paintings? I wonder. I don't know if we do. 3x2 gifted pillar, 2x3, 3x2 amber. I don't know if this is going to work. We'll see. No, definitely doesn't. It's probably slightly big, I think. The beauty, if you're not familiar with Victory Mod paintings, the great thing about them is they're treated as blocks, not entities. So you don't have to you don't have to worry about them killing. That's a little bit dark, I think. You don't have to worry about them killing your frame rate or anything along those lines, which you do sometimes with. Is that? I'm unsure about the dark frames, but I don't know. Does that work at all? I'm not. I didn't do. Of course, the other option is to go with something like that, but no, I think that you know I'll stop thinking about it too much. That will do. So what we need now is we need just a small thing for this corner, maybe a chair, just to add a little bit of interest there, and then we are done. Close enough to it anyway. A dresser, maybe a dresser. Now I could go with a Victory Mod dresser, or I could go with traditional. Just do a traditional Minecraft Conquest Reforged dresser if I was to use one. So we could go with something along the lines of this, and then just bring it out. But that makes it look too cluttered, I think. No, I think a chair is probably the way to go. Maybe an oak chair. Or maybe just a stool. And if we had a rail there on each side, maybe, just maybe. Ah, I hate when that happens. Now, you see, that doesn't make too much sense because you're going to clobber your head. So, if you were to get up there. So, I'm not going to do that either. Let me see. I've had a thought, but I'm not sure it'll work. Does that work? I Again, storing arms in a sitting room was actually an incredibly valid historical thing. The reason being that the old muskets and flintlock um, guns and firearms, they'd want to keep their powder dry in them, because the powder was typically kept, sometimes they would keep one charge of powder in the actual musket in case they needed to use it, so you'd often find it stored above the fireplace where the powder would be kept dry. So I think that's not too bad. Oh, just a candle, sorry, bricks, and a pillow for the cat. That's a fantastic idea. I think a pillow just is a good idea. We'll add a pillow there in decor, I think. No, where are the pillows again? Furniture? Furniture is where the pillows are. Pillow for the cat. As for the thing, we'll give it a try with the candle bricks just before I go. I'm 15 minutes overrunning now at this stage. That's 15 minutes I could have been... I should have been cutting the grass. But, so what do you think, lads? Do you think the candle, or do you think the actual... that didn't work. Again, coming... No, that doesn't work. But the candle itself works. What do you think, folks? A candle or the yolks? A or B? So let me know. The candles or the candle. I'm happy with either. And I'm going to put a little stool there just as an additional little feature. And it'll be the dark stool just to... The reason I'm using a dark stool here is just it contrasts against the wall. And it also looks stupid, so no, I'm not putting a thing there. I shall put, if anything I'm going to put a little bit of a cabinet there. And that probably looks stupid as well. Yes, it does. Okay, nothing's going there. Chair, maybe. Spruce chair. Yep, I'm happy with that. So the only thing, lads, for me and ladies, for me to remain to be done is to decide upon a candle or the candles. So if you can let me know your opinions, and I shall modify it accordingly. And that's not a bad rule. I'm happy enough with the room. There's enough going on, I think, to candles, I think. Shouldn't the kids go to grass? Very true. Yes, they should. But my girls are gone to they're members of a youth organization, and they have been. I think I think I prefer that slightly to the candle, just in terms of the size of the room. It would provide more light. No, my daughters are off with their mother at a youth event. They're gone to a petting zoo, and I'm here with my son and his friend, whose sister has also gone, and her mother has gone to the youth event. We are members of a fairly tight-knit community, and so well, minding is a strong word. My lad is nearly a teenager, and his friend is nearly a teenager, so they essentially look after themselves. They're inside in my sitting room playing Minecraft on the Xbox on Bedrock, and I am sat out here playing Conquest Reforged. So there's an awful lot of Minecraft going on in the house as usual. But what do you think, lads? Is that an acceptable sitting room before I head off? I am okay with that. I think that it's just about busy enough. I didn't want to make it too austere. We are in a wealthy part of town, so we need a little bit of opulence in order to reflect the area of town it is in. And by the way, this whole town here, this was laid flat just as a placeholder. We will be layering this a bit, and we're going to be adding an entire market fair. So it'll be a market day, and there'll be lots of stalls and all sorts of things going on in the square itself. It won't be lifeless as it is right now. So as I said, if you can let me know. So thank you very much, Bricks. I appreciate it greatly. But But if it meets everyone's approval, then I shall sign off. And then, as I said, it was only a quick stream because unfortunately I have more work to get, real life work to get done. And I've forgotten to do, that won't do it. That won't do it all. You see, this is the preliminary work that I typically do prior to anything. There, double thick wall there. That will do there. And this is going to be a cupboard of some nature, I think. We'll figure that out tomorrow. If you would like me to do this, if this stream has been in any way boring or pointless, let me know as well. Believe me, it won't bother me in the slightest. But I have no great desire for anybody to be logging on and being bored senseless, as I mutter to myself and try and get things done. So if you would like to see me stream as I attempt to furnish the interior of the house, please let me know. If it's something that's you'd rather see me do exteriors, I can hold off until I'm doing that. If it's, excuse me, I'm yawning. If it's something that is pointless in any regards, then let me know. Anyway, I've rambled on enough. I'd like to thank you all for joining me. If any of you are living within a 15-mile area of Carlow in Ireland, please come and help me cut my grass, because it's going to take me quite a long time, and I can feed you in cider and beer, but provided you're above 18, which is our legal limit. But until then, until next time, thank you very, very much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. This is a weird process to get used to, talking into a camera as I play, and then, as I said, excuse me, looking down at my phone to try and read interactions. But there we have it. If I'm in any way ineligible or anything like that, let me know. I'll do my best to address it. But as I said, until next time, folks, thank you very much for joining me, and stay frosty and goodbye.